The Bunge Company has sold or closed its grain storage facilities on the White River, forcing farmers who had been using those facilities to deliver their crops elsewhere.
The gates are locked and all is quiet at this grain storage facility on the White River. For years, the Bunge Company operated facilities like this one in Des Arc that were widely used by area farmers before shipping the grain to processing plants or ports on the Arkansas and Mississippi rivers. But the company has sold its Newport facility and closed others in Augusta, Clarendon, and St. Charles. A Bunge spokesman said that since the White River is no longer navigable by barge, it doesn't make economic sense to continue to operate these locations. Gene Higginbotham, executive director of the Arkansas Waterways Commission, agreed, saying there were three factors that led to Bunge's decision.
One was reliability of the White River. Hadn't been dredged in 6 years. We were making efforts to restore navigation to the river, but then combined with some lower commodity prices and lower fuel prices, I think the business decision by them was it was best to kind of pull away from those facilities on the White River.
Jeff Rutledge of Newport is one of many grain farmers along the White River who delivered his crops to one of Bunge's facilities. Now he faces the added expense of delivering his grain elsewhere.
You know, this is just another obstacle that's been placed in our path here as producers along the White River. It's probably going to increase our transportation costs from, anywhere from 15 to 20 cents a bushel. A lot of the crop now has to go either directly to poultry companies in the area or to the Mississippi River or down to Little Rock. The ports that are navigable to them, such as Little Rock and Memphis or Osceola, Helena, are really where your delivery points are going to be now, since the government and the Corps has failed to maintain the navigability of the White River here.
Higginbotham says that without a commercial interest on the river, dredging the channel will likely not resume, and federal earmarks for its improvement may not be allocated.
I think what they overlooked was that some earmarks are actually investments. And maybe that's the phrase that we need to start using, and particularly investments in infrastructure. We know how important the White River is. We know the economic impact that it can have on this particular area of the state. And of course, if one part of the state's impacted and it's a good thing for that part of the state, it's good for the entire state. And so that's the reason we took up the challenge, and we're not going to let it drop. We're going to keep pushing until we get the river back open.